Hello everyone and welcome to another Tutorial Thursday. My name is Swiss, and for this week we're going to be going over how to get better at throwing grenades or using grenades in general. I have made a couple videos on using grenades, offensive, defensive, etc. But I did want to go ahead and just explain how to throw grenades and how to develop other ways of throwing grenades and getting used to the timing, and pretty much that's it. So if you guys like the content, like and subscribe. Other than that, let's go ahead, let's dive right in, and let's get it.
Showtime!
Alright, so first things first, this is probably going to be, first and foremost, my last video for grenades, unless anything new comes up. But for the time being, this is probably going to be the last grenade video for Snake. Big sad, but, you know, what you going to do? There's only so much you could talk about with grenades. But I did want to explain just, you know, throwing grenades in general, because I feel like there's quite an amount of Snake players that just don't really have different options for cooking grenades. They either have just one or two, and then if that gets counterplayed by jumping or just evading in general, they seem to not really have anything to really counter that option or any other option in specific. So in this case, this is going to be useful for you guys that do not have many types of throws or different ways of cooking grenades, etc. So when I first picked up the game, I spent a lot of time in training mode just trying to understand when grenades blow up, what happens when I just throw them right away uncooked, or what happens when I cook them, you know, where do they blow up and stuff like that, just to get used to the timing and whatnot. And I think that really does help. It's helped me get a lot of grenade hits in neutral, as well as, you know, just grenade hits off the top and stuff like that as well. So if you guys watch my stream, you guys would probably know that I do land a lot of grenades. So the first thing I recommend is putting it on a fixed angle or fixed camera mode, so that way you could see the whole stage and as well as the whole screen. This is going to help in regards of like throwing grenades up to understand where they blow up, and just understanding like where exactly they're going to blow up. That way you know for sure when the time comes of when the opponent's in a certain spot on what grenade throw you want to use. Again, there's multiple ways to throw grenades. Just a quick rundown on that. There's the grenade stance, and you have the regular throw, you have the light throw, you have the hard throw, you have the shield drop, and then you could throw it with just the A button, or you could do a smash input and it travels faster as well. So as you can see, this with the A button, it doesn't go up that high, but this with the smash input, it goes off screen. So you can see that it travels farther, it travels faster, and that's basically all that you need to know, really. So most people have the option of just like regular throw grenades like this, or they'll like jump throw it, or they'll double jump throw it, and then it just seems like after that there's just like not really much else after that people are doing. So just note that, you know, practicing different types of grenade throws in training mode just helps. Or if you don't really even need training mode, you could just think that, you know, you could try to just mix up options. Like, oh, I've never tried something like this before, let me just try that and see how that works. So you don't necessarily need training mode, but for someone like me, I definitely needed training mode, and it helps me out a lot just to understand grenade throws and grenade timing in general. So what I would do is just start off by throwing a grenade like this just to see where it blows up. So you can see it kind of blows up, you know, right in front of Yoshi, and then you can kind of just see like how does the grenade travel when you double jump, or when you jump like this, or when you throw it like that, or throw it back, or like jump back and then throw it. Like, where do they blow up? And then just like paying attention to, if you hold it for a while, like where exactly does it blow up at that point. So the more you play around with it, again, the better it's going to be for you, because basically people are doing that, or they're just doing Shogun like this, and the reason that I'm able to get like the Shogun like 2 grenades to hit like that is just because I was practicing it and just seeing like how can I get both grenades to hit, and that's pretty much what I was doing in training mode, and that's why people tend to ask me like how do I get both grenades to hit. Yeah, it's just in training mode I just was spending a lot of time just practicing grenades and just seeing like when they blow up, what can I do as far as like when they're cooked, what options do I have, if as long as I'm not being pressured like far away, of course, and then that's pretty much it. You can also like try to like change up like options as well, like what if I jump back, did a down air or something, what if I jump back air, came back and did that, what if I Z drop back air, picked it up, did that, and so on and so forth. Or like what if I neutral aired, what if I did that, what if I threw this and then dash attack and then picked it up. So again, there's so many options that you have to do with grenades. There's so much time that you have, even though it's only like 2.5 seconds before the grenade blows up. That's still enough time just to play around with it, just to see like what exactly you could do before the grenade blows up. And if it does blow up while you're practicing it, then obviously that might not be a good option, so you have to scratch that off your list. As an example, like you just saw, I did this, threw that, dash attacked, and when I try to throw it, I blew myself up. So I have to think, okay, well, if I do that next time, I should shield what you just saw, and I ended up getting both grenades to hit. So that's just something that you have to work with in general. And also messing around with like Z drops as well, right? So you can mess around with Z dropping, throwing it down, doing something like that even. So there's just a lot that you can do with grenades, and I just feel like people just aren't really messing around with that, or like trying to find a counter for people jumping, let's say. So like if they're just like jumping over the grenade, you're throwing them, they're jumping over them, so that way they don't get hit, then, you know, obviously you have to work with like actually being used to just throwing them at the opponent while they jump. So that's why I say in my previous video that like you want to pay attention to how the opponent is getting around the grenade and then figure out a counter option. Even if you haven't labbed it, you could still be able to just act on the fly and just say, you know, what if I just held this grenade for a little bit and then I threw it in the air to try to hit them while they're jumping? Or what if I double jump and then throw it, you know? So that's something you have to work with as far as grenade throw goes. I do think that people don't really use jump throw or double jump throw. I feel like it's very useful for an opponent that's jumping, or if they got a super high jump, you could throw it down like that just to try to catch their jump as well, or you could just throw it up. You know, whatever is going to be more beneficial for you in the situation that you're in. So if you just want to stick to the neutral and you want to camp someone out, like let's say you're fighting a Ganondorf and he's just jumping all over the place, and obviously we don't want to fight them up close in the matchup specifically. So in this case, you know, we have to get used to jump throws. Otherwise, if not, and we just keep throwing grenades like this, then they're just going to get over them normally, and then there's nothing else you could really do. Or you can also even just try to do something like that. You could jump, do that. You know, there's just a lot of options. You have to just play around with it just to know, like, what Snake has available as far as his grenades and what he can actually do with them. So yeah, so the more you play around with it, the better. The only other thing I could say is that with FD, you know, that's just basically FD. FD is the most helpful for me. But you can also go into Battlefield, obviously, and mess with that. You also have small Battlefield now. For those who don't have a hacked Switch, you know, people that have a hack switch can turn hazards off on like PS2 and Smashville and stuff like that, so they can try out different methods there. But sadly, I don't have that option because I don't have a hack switch. But you could still do PS2. You have 30 seconds to play around with it until before the stage transforms, then just reset. But otherwise, Battlefield is also a good one, and as well as Small Battlefield. So with Battlefield, like it's important in general just to know like how grenades work when you're using them when it comes to platforms. Like I see some people like they'll start on Battlefield and then they'll just do this, and notice where the grenade lands. You know, it lands in a spot where it's just not useful at all, especially at the start of a match, because generally as far as every player goes ever, they're generally just going to drop down the platform and then pretty much go from there. They're going to jump off. I mean, they're going to drop down, or they're just going to run off. And that's basically it. But generally, no one's just going to jump on top platform at the beginning of a match. So this specific throw on a platform would help you understand that you don't want to do that here. But like there as well might be a little beneficial, because it kind of like bounces and then like lands center stage if you do it like a little bit right here. So it can help with positioning, but obviously back here it just stops right there. So it might not be helpful as well unless like someone's running at you. Then you could possibly do that. You could do something like this, pick it up and then throw it. Or like you could do this, pick it up and then throw it later. Whatever you think is going to be easier. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys for today. Just again, you know, practice your grenade throws, understand the timing a little bit more. Training mode helps, but again, you don't have to use training mode. You can still figure it out if you're playing a lot of matches anyways. But it's very important to just mix up your throws, because again, if you only have 1 or 2 set throws that you're used to and the opponent finds a way to get around it, then you're pretty much going to be at a standstill where you just don't know what to do. And then that's when people start to feel that snake grenades might not be that good, or they might not be useful, so they might use it less, or whatever the case is. So hope this helps you guys. Feel free to comment in the comment section down below if you guys have any questions or anything like that. I have other social media platforms in the description: Twitch, Twitter, Patreon, etc. Other than that, thank you guys again, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye now.
Never duplicate you, never multiply two. Everyone copy and paste, mask all up in on their face. Disney fantasy and PH, they are cool with their complacent. You feel it in you, then you brush it off you. Insignificant, but you got something we want, and your whole life is a taunt, cause you will not just comply. Waking up for your day.